Dumbledore's opening line of the final Fantastic Beasts: The Secrets of Dumbledore trailer says Kingdom of Bhutan. Some of our most important magic has its origins there. Today, we're going to break down that line and tons of other Easter eggs, references, and hidden details from the trailer that you need to know. So let's get started. The trailer begins with a wide shot of Hogwarts before showing you Lolly Hicks, Theseus Scamander, Albus Dumbledore, Jacob Kowalski, and Newt Scamander looking at what appears to be a small model of a building in Bhutan. But before we get to Bhutan, even if you've seen the previous films, there's a good chance you may not remember who Eulalie or Lolly Hicks is. While she's set to play a major role in this film, she had a small cameo in The Crimes of Grindelwald, appearing briefly inside a book at Nicholas Flamel's house. In that scene, she encourages Flamel to take part in the final battle, which we see him later do. But what else do we know about Lolly? She's actually a charms professor from the American Wizarding School. Ilvermorny is a friend of Dumbledore's and a fan of Newt's work. She also wrote the book Advanced Charm Casting, and the core of her wand is an African mermaid hair. Now let's talk about that Bhutan building at the center of Dumbledore's presentation, which, in case you didn't notice, is happening in Hogwarts' Great Hall, as evidenced by the 4 long dining tables in the background. After showing us the model, the trailer cuts to a shot of the actual building. Here's what's going on. The building is where the new leader, or Supreme Mugwump, of the International Confederation of Wizards will be chosen. The International Confederation of Wizards is the wizarding world's highest governing body, similar to something like the United Nations. The Supreme Mugwump is also not a new term, as you've already been familiar with someone who would go on to serve in the position, none other than Albus Dumbledore himself. So that raises the question, what is happening here? If you look at the top of the steps, you can see 3 different colored banners: yellow, red, and green. Each of these banners represents a different candidate vying for leadership. Yellow is for Visenya Santos, red is for Liu Tao, and green is for Grindelwald. This next Easter egg is likely a nod to the original Harry Potter series. Cutting away from the Bhutan building, there's a shot of Dumbledore walking down a street as a golden snitch lands in his hand. Given that Dumbledore isn't in the middle of a game of Quidditch, why does he have a snitch? Fans of the original Harry Potter series will remember that following Dumbledore's death, he left Harry a golden snitch with the message, "I open at the close." Harry later discovered that the snitch Dumbledore left him could actually be opened, which allowed an item to be hidden inside. With the snitch having featured in several of the trailers, it's possible that this hidden feature could play an important role in this film as well. The next Easter egg is something you probably didn't know unless you're a big fan of studio logos. You'll notice that the Wizarding World logo is made up of several different wands, but whose wands are they? From left to right, you have wands belonging to Voldemort, Ron Weasley, Hermione Granger, Harry Potter, Albus Dumbledore, whose wand was the Elder Wand, Newt Scamander, Tina Goldstein, Queenie Goldstein, and Gellert Grindelwald. This next detail is hard to see, but if you slow things down, it's easy to catch. As Newt is running through the bamboo forest, you can see he's holding a small animal in his arms, and we get a better glimpse of it after Newt is fallen. It's not clear what animal it is, but it looks like the same animal that shows up later in the trailer with Grindelwald, so maybe Newt isn't able to save it after all. But did you catch the return of this familiar face? Hand? The shot lasts for just a moment, but a disembodied glove is shown pointing the way for Dumbledore and company. But it's not the first time the floating glove makes an appearance. In The Crimes of Grindelwald, Newt encounters this glove while walking in the streets of London, and after shaking hands with it, he's taken to meet Dumbledore. The previously animated glove now limp in his hand. Perhaps the glove has a mind of its own, or it's simply an extension of Dumbledore that helps them scout ahead. We'll just have to wait and see. In the next shot, you can see Theseus and Lolly enter a brick wall, and there's a lot to unpack here. Wizards entering through hidden entrances from the Muggle world into the Wizarding world is something we've seen many times before. The most well-known instance of this is probably the entrance to the platform 9 3/4, where Hogwarts students would walk through a brick wall to access the Hogwarts Express. Another notable example is the entrance to Diagon Alley, located behind the Leaky Cauldron. So Theseus and Lolly are entering a wizarding location, but where could they be going? In the previous 2 Fantastic Beasts films, we've seen the American, British, and French wizarding governments, all of which boast their own secret entrances. By taking a look at the wall, you can see the outline of what looks like a large bird with its wings spread, not too dissimilar to the eagle on the German coat of arms. Previous trailers also feature shots of buildings with German words on them, so it's likely we'll get a glimpse of the German Ministry of Magic. Moving on, we get a close look at Grindelwald's personal logo, which is layered with Easter eggs and special meanings. You can first see it on his campaign banner, and then a close-up of it is shown on the front of the car he and Rosie are riding in. If you look below the animated dragon, you'll see it. Piercing the center of the logo is the Elder Wand, which extends through a triangle that contains a circle with within it, a reference to Grindelwald's Holy Grail, the Deathly Hallows. Flanking each side of the icon are two G's, one of which is backwards, which stands for Greater Good, Grindelwald's slogan. Maybe it's just a coincidence that these letters are the same as Grindelwald's initials, but either way, the guy sure knows how to brand himself. Next up, there's a bit of magic that fans of the series are sure to recognize. Grindelwald pulls a silvery strand from the head of a man who appears to be Yusuf Kama. The silvery strand is reminiscent of when memories are extracted and later placed in a pensieve for someone to relive and review the memories of another person. It's not made clear what memory Grindelwald is extracting, but given Yusuf is one of the few to know the true origins of Credence, as explained by Leta Lestrange before she died in the previous film, there's a good chance that's the memory he's after. After that, we see the gang on a train, where one of the most exciting and confusing parts of the trailer happens. Newt gives Jacob a wand, per Dumbledore's request. The film is called The Secrets of Dumbledore, so maybe there's something Dumbledore knows that we don't, as Muggles aren't supposed to be able to do magic. But before the trailer moves on to the next scene, we're treated to another Easter egg. Jacob lets out a high-pitched giggle, much like he did in the first film. That's not his natural laugh though. As you'll remember, his giggle fits were spurred on by what he was drinking, giggle water. Fun fact, giggle water was actually a slang term for alcohol, especially champagne, used during the Prohibition era of the 1920s. This next detail is a real blink and you'll miss it moment. While you watch this bird-like beast take flight into the night, take a close look at the silhouette in the background. Against the light, you can clearly see a horn resembling a rhino, or more specifically, a Eurumpet. A Eurumpet is a magical rhino look-alike that has the ability to inject things with the fluid and cause them to explode. You'll remember one made an appearance in the first Fantastic Beasts film, where Newt comically attempted to subdue it via a mating dance. Hopefully we get to see some more of Newt's dance moves this time around. There's something peculiar that happens in the next scene as well. We see Dumbledore and Grindelwald sitting at a table having a conversation, where Grindelwald tells Dumbledore that with or without his help, he'll burn down their world, presumably referring to Muggles. After this, we see the entire restaurant go up in flames. But when everything goes up in flames, we can see Grindelwald and the other patrons have vanished from the restaurant. Perhaps this is a memory of Dumbledore's or something else entirely. Either way, it doesn't seem to take place in reality. Speaking of things happening in a different reality, these next details will really get your head spinning. The next several shots show Credence and Dumbledore beginning to duel. First of all, look at the color of magic coming from Credence. He has clearly learned to control the Obscurus he's struggled with over the past two films, although Dumbledore is able to easily defend himself. He is the greatest wizard of our time after all. Second, once Credence is subdued, Dumbledore then pulls out a lighter, which is the Deluminator we've seen Dumbledore used before in Harry Potter films. After he activates the Deluminator though, the entire world seems to flip into a different one, which is something we haven't seen done by the Deluminator before. And third, did you catch the strangest part of the scene? Take a look at the words on the buildings where Credence and Dumbledore are dueling. Do you notice it? All of the signs are backwards. It certainly seems like this fight is happening in some kind of modified world, and the Deluminator makes it possible for Dumbledore to bring Credence back to reality. The trailer then heads into a montage of quick shots, but there's still plenty to see. Back in Bhutan, wizards and witches are shooting colored fireworks in the air, presumably to vote for who they'd like as the supreme mugwump. It shows for just a moment, but you can see Grindelwald's logo show up in the green explosions. Then there's a fight scene with Theseus and Lolly facing off against some unknown wizards, but there's some very unique beasts caught in the middle. If you're not paying attention, you can easily miss them. Diricals are known for their ability to disappear and reappear elsewhere, and you can see a few of these birds doing just that to get out of harm's way. Next, there's a shot of a man getting turned into a painting, but you might not have noticed this other man who seems to be getting attacked by clothes. Then we catch our first glimpse of Queenie, who ended the previous film by joining Grindelwald's cause. Then a quick shot of Yusuf Kama in Bhutan, seemingly taking out the same group of wizards Theseus and Lolly were fighting earlier. Then take a look at this next shot, as there's a few things to point out. In the center of the spinning papers, you can make out a book, which seems to function as the port key that takes Jacob and Lolly away. You can also see that they're standing outside of Jacob's bakery by the sign above the door. And of course, if you look at the background, you can see the Manhattan Bridge. Given the proximity of his shop to the bridge, you can actually guess where his shop would have been in real life. It would seem his shop is located in the historic Dumbo neighborhood in Brooklyn. Another unique beast then makes an appearance, or at least part of it does. What appears to be a large scorpion stinger is shown, but there's a good chance it isn't actually a giant scorpion. It's likely a manticore, a creature with the tail of a scorpion, but the body of a lion and the head of a man. In the book Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, it also states that the manticore skin repels almost all known charms, and the sting causes instant death. So, best of luck to the two wizards. Then we see a couple of shots of Newt's bowtruckle running with Newt's wand, and in the second shot of him flying through the air, you can see in the background that he seems to have been launched forward off the back of a tripping Niffler. Following this, there's a face-off between Dumbledore and Grindelwald, but notice anything strange about those shots? It seems like they're taking place in some sort of dream landscape, possibly the same kind of place Dumbledore and Credence were dueling early on. Then we get a glimpse of a yet-to-be-identified crab-like creature as Newt and Theseus try to swivel their hips out of the situation and to the end of the trailer. I hope you liked the video, and let me know if I missed anything and if you're planning on seeing the film. Don't forget to subscribe to Movie Logic for more daily movie facts, trivia, and Easter eggs.